Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the IFX Expo International 2023. I'm Dushka, and I will guide you through the Idea Hub for the next 2 days. I'm thrilled to announce the first session, Empowering Brokers, Elevating Online Trading Payments. Well, please welcome our moderator, Guy Karsenti, Chief Technology Officer from the Praxis Tech, who will introduce the panel.
Good morning, everybody. Nice to see you all. It's early morning, so we have a not so dense crowd, but we'll make do. We're getting more attention to each one of you. So first, let's introduce our distinguished panelists. We'll go from left to right. Rosen, please.
Hey guys, my name is Rosen. I'm VP of FX and Gaming at BVNK. I come from a payments background, high-risk background, so for the last 13 years I've been in the FX space and the gaming space. So with previous businesses and now at BVNK we service Forex brokers globally, help them settle funds, accept crypto payments. So if anyone wants to have a chat with us about crypto, about settlements from emerging markets, please pop to our booth or speak to me after the panel. And
thank you very much.
Also, thank you.
Okay. Good morning, everybody. My name is Tola. I'm head of sales and partnership at Kora. Kora, we are a PSP. We are licensed in Africa. We provide local payments solution. We also have an EMI license in the UK. We have an MSP in Canada. And we work with merchants in the high-risk space, talk about Forex, gaming, lotto, casinos, betting, payment aggregators, IBs. We work with you. We literally bring Africa to your doorstep with just one single API. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edgars Valmers. I'm head of e-commerce department in LPB Bank. LPB Bank is located in a small country named Latvia. We are fully licensed like a standard bank, providing a full services, including bank accounts, acquiring, and so all services. Thank you all for coming, and I hope that we will have a great time.
Thank you very much. So I'm Guy. I'm the CTO of Praxis, a payment and processing solution. Well, we know most of you, so we'll not further ado. So let's go to the first question, guys. Okay? And this question is actually addressed to all of you. It's about challenges this year. What kind of challenges we're facing these days, broker primarily, when it comes to payment in the Forex ecosystem? Let's address this, a bit of
I'll start if you don't mind. So I think speed of settlement is one of the things that is really challenging for brokers in the modern world. I think a lot of brokers now, as we see over the years, and currently they're expanding to new markets like Southeast Asia, Latin America. But to monetize on these efforts of expanding, to monetize on the marketing campaigns and the new customers that you're bringing to your cashier, you need to have new payment methods that are relevant for the areas, right? So you need to have alternative payment methods like local bank transfers, local payment card schemes, local wallets, crypto payments, of course, opens a lot of doors. So to be successful in expanding, you need to add these payment methods, right? But the problem comes when you need to settle and take the money to your main banking providers, let's say in Europe. So you want to accept the local payments, but get settled, let's say in Europe or in the UK or whatever your main banking partner is. So the challenge of taking the funds and settle the funds quickly and efficiently is there. I think for brokers, this is one of the main challenges we see. So you cannot always get the local bank accounts, you cannot always take advantage of SWIFT, or even if you do, you sometimes miss cut-off times because your partners that are processing locally are delaying the settlement, so you can't really quickly settle. So I think brokers need to use more innovative technology like blockchain. I don't think it's new, it's there for a while, but I think it should be widely adopted within the Forex space, within payments, because it is an alternative and also can work hand in hand with what we have existing. So what you can easily do is use stablecoin rails to settle from markets that are difficult to work in, like Southeast Asia, as I mentioned, Latin America. I'll give you an example with a broker we work with. they need to settle a few times a week from markets like Vietnam and Thailand. So Vietnamese dong, Thai baht, difficult to settle. What we managed to do with them is to help them collect locally and settle the funds for them within 24 hours. So we moved a delay of settlement of 4 days, usually an average of 4 days, to 24 hours, even less in some cases. So we managed to cut their cost, that was important, but also the cut-off times and the settlement was done in hours rather than days. So you can address the settlement, being innovative, and it's a challenge that is there to stay, but also, companies like ours are there to address it. So that's one of the challenges. So, Tola, over to you.
You're right, Rosen. And
Can you close the door, please, there? Sorry, thanks.
so Rosen is. Can you hear me, please? Okay, so Rosen is very right. For brokers, and I'll bring this to an African perspective. I always say Africa is a gold mine. Africa is a growing market and is an emerging market. We have over 1.2 billion people in Africa, right? And the internet penetration is really, really growing at a very alarming rate. So the challenge with payments in Africa is the fragmentization of the payment system. So you want to work in Africa with 54 countries. The payment system in West Africa is different from South Africa, North Africa, or East Africa. So if you're talking about East Africa, you're talking about M-Pesa, you're talking about mobile money. You come to Nigeria, we talk about P2P. If you go to Ghana, that is a close neighbor of Nigeria, you're talking about mobile money. You understand? So you want to work with Africa, you're probably thinking, am I going to work with 54 providers? You can imagine the hassle. But what we've been able to do to help brokers like yourself is that we understand the local market. We understand the regulators, we understand the government, we understand how it works, and then we've connected the dots across Africa, whether from north, south, east, or west, and we provide you the payment solution with just one single API. So once you integrate with us with one single API, we open you to mobile money, we open you to bank transfers, EFT, local cards, and that's what we do. That's how we're able to solve the problem. Another major challenge is current exchange volatility, and Rosen also mentioned that. So let me bring it back home let me take you to Nigeria. Let me take you on a journey to Nigeria. So in Nigeria, prior to now, we had 2 different exchange rates. There's the I&E, that's the official exchange rate, and then there's a parallel market exchange rate. And the disparity between these 2 rates is over 100%. So you're a broker, you're coming to work in Nigeria, coming to operate in Nigeria, and then you set a fees at the official rate. Trust me, you are going to take a very big hit. But right now, the market has been more regulated, and the rates are very, very close, right? But what we advise brokers, partners that we work with is have an automatic spread. Put a spread between 10 to 15% to cover up for the exchange rate loss, because you can collect money in the morning and in the evening, you're already taking a hit. And then another thing is what we've provided is that we provide automatic swaps. And you could swap your local currency into USD, Euro, GBP, or USDT. And within a day, 24 hours, less than 24 hours, you have your local funds sitting in your USDT address. You've covered for exchange rate loss and all that. So that's how we work. You collect locally, and then you do cross-border settlement to avoid exposure to exchange rate. Yeah, thank you.
And by the way, before we continue, dynamic spread is very important.
Yeah.
And the way to implement dynamic spread on a volatile currency without human intervention is even more important.
Exactly.
So that is a very good point, and I'm glad you mentioned that.
Thank you.
Edgar.
Yeah, I think colleagues already mentioned the main points. What we see from bank perspective, it's 2 main issues, I would say. The first one is to meet the requirements from Visa, MasterCard side and government side, because we can see that almost quarterly we are facing some kind of new rules, especially from Visa and MasterCard, and those rules sometimes are hard to implement to the system, and it's like for bank side it's like a main issue, because we are not, so deeply in merchant business. The second one, we're still facing a lot of scam businesses. I mean, not like a scam like a Forex, I mean scam customers. and we are facing a lot of companies that providing us services to make a dispute for some kind of deals, and believe me, they working on such high level. They're using a lot of like a Photoshop, a lot of some kind of tools just to provide to bank issue and to Visa, to MasterCard some proving docs that Forex is a scam. But by the fact customer is a scammer, yeah, and still keeping in mind that we have a 3D secure, we have open banking, we still are facing a lot of scammers in this sphere. I think from bank side it's like a two major issues that we are trying to fight.
Thank you for the point. So just to conclude, so settlement accounts, super important because otherwise how are we going to get the money out once we have it? And currency conversion, volatile currencies, local solutions, a lot of APMs around to support a lot of businesses. That is very important. And you mentioned, of course, the risk that comes from address that in the next question that goes with massive regulation, fraud, chargebacks. I would then mention AI against AI. We'll talk about it maybe 30 seconds later on. So we have those issues. And I think I want to add another topic. I think you mentioned that was in a bit, fast settlements. Fast settlements, and that opened the door to areas in the world where we have open banking solutions. And I'm talking about, PSD2 class of banking solution where you can actually settle the fund with a settlement account, because without it, no good, won't happen. And also, so that was in a nutshell a good high-level overview of some of the challenges. We have many more, of course, coming next. Let's talk about risk, KYC, and automation. How do you think that, KYC tools, KYC helps automate and scale out the Forex business when it comes to risk?
From my perspective, I think, especially coming from crypto background at BVNK, I think KYC and risk is a hot topic, so we need to always discuss that. So to make sure people are comfortable with the level of security of payments and compliance of payments, I would say. So for me, KYC, risk scoring of clients, has always been a pain, and it's only getting worse for brokers in the sense that it's something they need to improve, and the requirements increase from regulators, and that's understandable. So it's here to stay, so people need to take advantage of it, because it cannot be any other way. So automation can help in faster, in my opinion, faster increase of limits and in faster deposit times. Because you pair KYC and risk scoring to the payment method that the person is using. So if it's a very fast and efficient payment method, but the KYC and risk assessment is slow, and it's not automated, then the whole process is very slow. So customers are not receiving the good customer experience and the speed they want. And nowadays people want speed in deposit, right? So they want to deposit fast and start trading. So you need to pair a very fast and automated KYC to that payment method. In the context of crypto, it's a very fast payment method, as we all know. There are some concerns around compliance, but now with the MiCA regulation, with the travel rules, these things will be addressed. And when you have fast KYC and risk scoring, and at the same time you have enough information coming from the blockchain on the transaction, you have absolutely closed the loop, so you're sure that there is no third-party deposit, you're sure that the right person is depositing the funds and from the right location, so you have no third-party deposit, you have no violation of sanctions or blocked countries. So I think you need to automate risk and KYC to actually catch up on the payments and the speed of payments and the regulatory requirements coming for the payment methods themselves. So I think most brokers have automated that already, but they need to pair it with all payment methods and all new technology. That is good enough.
Some of the brokers did automate that.
Not all.
Of course, not all of them. And
also, I missed one point. I think RFIs are critical. You have a lot of RFIs that you receive from different partners, whether it's from, Edgars was speaking about Visa and MasterCard and proving to them that the broker is a scam. I think, there is the other thing that happens at banks and providers are asking for information. So request for information is very common in the payments world. So if you have automated KYC and scoring, you can very easily address this RFI. So your client can either have the deposit approved and successful or the funds returned. So the funds are not staying in the middle. While if you're slow in collecting the documents and verifying the client, an RFI can take days, if not weeks. So your client is actually having their money on hold and they're unhappy with you as a broker. So you want to address that, right? You don't want people to be unhappy with you as a broker. You want their money either deposited and ready to spend or return to them and try another route. So I think with KYC automated, this can be addressed quicker. RFIs can take 1 hour, 2 hours, and everything's sorted one way or the other.
Yeah, actually, KYC challenges are huge. Regulation is getting tighter and tighter. We've seen Visa and MasterCard getting more aggressive, but also local regulation coming in. For example, lately Spain, credit card not allowed for forex industry anymore. So we need to challenge and to understand how to cope with that. There are other areas, by the way, guys, that you can actually make client deposit faster with KYC challenges. For example, have the credit card during KYC, do a note zero, an MIT transaction, have the client raise deposit right afterwards. Don't let them do the 3DS, the odd zero later on to trade, because you're going to lose them. I mean, he's tired doing it. So that kind of thing is also very important to do and incorporate frictionless payment throughout the KYC process. It will help you also actually mitigate the risk scoring itself, adjust the risk scoring, make sure to understand if there is any chargeback coming in. So also incorporating that in that process. You guys want to address that? Any?
Yeah, so it's all about automation, just like Rosen says. Automation, AI tools, that's it.
Yeah. And of course the move to eKYC, we'll not address that right now. KYC and eKYC is becoming more of a trendy right now these days. So KYC, where actually you don't have to upload document and so on, to verify identity against the local institutions. So it's something that also is very, very important.
And I also think, like, with automation, you can actually improve KYC in difficult markets. So it's not the same to verify someone in European Union, let's say, with all the database that you have, and someone, let's say, in countries where the databases are not as extensive and as accessible. So if you work in automation in these difficult markets in that direction, I think it can improve the payment experience as well. Because you cannot verify a customer in Vietnam as easy as someone in Europe, especially if you use the tools that we have in Europe. So it's just a different ballgame there.
That takes us to the point where you might want to use multiple KYC vendors that specialize in regions, and up to a point where you have different vendors for POI, POR, because specifically in difficult markets, by the way. So yeah, that is definitely a good point. Next question. Let's talk about the balance between payment security and client trust, and how we actually balance that equilibrium.
I just thought that Rosen almost like a 50% showing answer this question. I think that nowadays, if we will take a look like 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago, we didn't have a lot of such like QAC tools. I remember that I have opened a brokerage account, I just provided my ID card, that's all. Not only a single like invoice or utility bill, whatever. And I think nowadays customers already used to pass verification process. And yeah, Rosen touched a good point that currently the time is matter. Yes, so basically I can able to open a brokerage account, I can pass my verification from my cell phone. It takes about 1 or 2 minutes. Yeah, after a couple of minutes I'm receiving approval. And in general, if we're speaking about between like service provider and payment provider, I think the main point is transparency. I think each customer and each payment provider should have good communication, because in most cases merchant has of course more experience in this field. Yeah, because from bank side, of course, we're not talking with the customers directly. So from bank side, we can approve, of course, Rosen mentioned it, we can approve dispute process when a chargebacks and fraud is coming. And I think the main point, yeah, it's speed. And for me personally, I don't know, for me personally, it's very strange when some brokerage company not asking any single document. I faced a lot of customers. I personally passed registration process, and they didn't ask any question about my financial statement, about my passport, ID, utility bill, whatever. Yeah, and for me it's like a bit frustrating. Yeah, and as a customer, I'm feeling that something is suspicious here, because if we will take a look on laws and risk mitigation process from payment processor, it's like a standard thing to ask some kind of documents. Yeah, and I think nowadays all tools and technical tools improving this process, and I think this process should work from both sides, from like payment processors and of course from merchants. Yeah, because nowadays it's very important to have transparent communication between a merchant and payment processor.
That is true. I think that the balance between the client trust to actual security, posture and risk these days is starting to be mitigated by, again, tools and automation, but a lot in AI element that goes across the chain, from proof of identity, image verification is very important. So the client see what you're doing, you see the response, you see that something is going on, you are being, asked to pose left, right, up, down, then you might be rejected. Okay, you need to upload document. That is actually very important. That automation, fast uploading, scanning the document, using passport chipsets for then verification. Those are very important topics when you come to, on one side trust, second security. So those kind of things helps a lot on one side. Again, the client trust. On the second side, make sure security actually is there. And of course, again, when it comes to transaction security, that is very important as well. Tools, transaction monitoring, but also authentication. We've seen a lot because in Europe, PSD2, 3DS is mandatory. The rest of the world, it's not. There's no liability shift where the acquirer in the world and the merchant will be liable. I would always recommend, in some cases, to activate on the mid 3DS, even if you think if you're going to lose a couple of percentage. It might be very helpful for you guys. You're going to lose 3-4%, but you get 15% and to avoid chargebacks. So this is something that we also need to take into account, and it's just some recommendation of that balance that occur. And so let's talk about local payment, localization, how important these are. We touched a bit in the beginning, but let's further go deep into how much this is important when it comes to broker.
Thank you, Guy. So, an African proverb says, follow who sabi road. That means follow who knows the road. Like follow who knows and understands the market. That's what the African proverb is trying to say. So if you want to work in Africa, bring it into Africa, and you are coming with a mindset of maybe a European payment system, you can't penetrate into the market. You can't scale in the market. You have to go granular. You have to work with the local payment methods. So you're going to East Africa, for example, you need to work with M-Pesa, mobile money, because over 90% of East Africans, they have a mobile money wallet, and less than 5% have a credit card. You understand? So if you are going into that market and you just want to work with credit cards, you've lost that market. All your investment in that market is trash. So you come into Nigeria, for example. Nigeria is more of P2P, bank transfers. So you come into Nigeria, you have to work with local partners that are integrated with the local banks and can give you the local solution and then local cards. Because a lot of African countries have local cards. For example, in Nigeria, we have the VEF cards, which is far cheaper than MasterCard and Visa. So even if you want to work with cards, you have to work with both Visa, MasterCard, and the local cards. So when you want to work in local markets, I know it's the same thing for LATAM too, right? You have to use the local payment method, whether it's EFT, bank transfers, mobile monies, you have to go granular, and that can actually make or break your solution. And the same thing Rosen was saying, even when it comes to KYC, you have to go local. You have to use local KYC partners because they understand how the terrain works. It's not as automated as you have in Europe or you have in the States, right? So you have to work with local payment partners, local KYC partners, and if you do that, trust me, you are going to scale the market because Africa is a gold mine. I keep on saying it. Africa is an untapped market. You need to come to Africa and you need to make the money in Africa. Trust me, you need to come to Africa. Thank you.
Yeah. You want to touch, Rosen? Okay. So local payment is the key when it comes to, first of all, also approval rate. And you know, when you do cross-border, you're going to have a lower approval rate.
Sorry, guys, just to also add to that. And like I said earlier, when you collect locally in African currencies, you want to move the money outside Africa, right? And that's also why you need to work with a payment partner that doesn't just process locally, but they also do cross-border settlement, right? So you can collect whether Kenyan shilling, Nigerian naira, or on the rand, and then you settle that, you convert into a USDT, or you convert into any cryptocurrency of your choice, or USD or Euro. So that's how you can actually scale in a local market. That's it.
So that's actually the second risk. So one is, of course, approval rate. Second is, of course, currency conversion with coming from the money, of course. But local payment with local cards, when it comes to cards, which follow actually Visa standards, because they do on the local switches, very important. Some of them will support all the features that big hubs has, some of them won't. But it's very important because there, once something comes in, if we get approved, it needs to be approved. Because they know the local risk, they understand the local risk, and they will take the risk for their clients. Rosen?
Yeah, also, we need to consider these markets have a lot of, as you mentioned earlier, the volatility in the currency. So you can have big drops in, you're liable for a lot of change in the exchange rate. So I think the amount of people that actually hold crypto in Latin America, Africa, and Asian Pacific just to have a stable currency. There is volatility in the crypto space, but sometimes some fiat currencies are even more volatile and exposed to inflation, like in Argentina, let's say. So I think although it's a global solution, you need to look into crypto processing as a customer base of people who are actually protecting themselves from the volatility of the fiat currencies. So you need to also offer the crypto processing piece to tap those clients who actually hold a lot of their money and savings into crypto to avoid this volatility. So if you have like a crypto processing partner, a TLT payments partner, you can also receive the funds in your local bank account. So you're not exposed to the crypto volatility yourself. So you can process crypto, receive straight away, convert it to euro or pounds, and get settled to your euro or pounds bank account. So you are untapping clients that hold crypto to protect themselves from the volatility of their own fiat currency, but actually receive your stable fiat currency and avoid the volatility of crypto. So crypto processing should be looked at very seriously because it's a new type of, not new type, but like a special type of customer base, wealthy, good into investing as well and prone to investing. So it's also look at the local payment methods indeed.
Thank you for that, brother. Thank you for that. We have 1 minute and a half, so I'm going to open the panel for some questions if you guys have. So before just to wrap this, listening to the debate here, the questions, anything that you guys want to ask, any clarification, any new open ideas that you want to share with us, please.
Thank you very much for this nice discussion. I have the following question, probably quite naive, because I'm not in the payments business. Just imagine the following situation. I want to create a brokerage company, only crypto payments, only crypto. Just I don't care about those guys who hold, MasterCard, Visa, and so why should I need KYC? Actually, I accept crypto payments. I do all of my business inside, my company, yes, just they trade, I have some, business just like Forex, but they accept only crypto, nothing else. And then when clients who trade successfully, probably yes, some of them exist, they just want to withdraw, and I give back them in crypto. Yes, so why do I need KYC? Or probably maybe I don't need, so why do I need any regulation? Because all the business that I'm going to do, for example, is within the crypto area. Yes, so what do you think? What kind of problems will I face running such a type of business?
I'll let you answer that.
Yeah.
I think the main thing where you discuss the client trust. Yeah, and I think if client will face that you, for example, you don't have any company or you don't have any license, yeah, it will be zero client trust. Yeah, from one perspective of view, for sure you will have a better terms, you will have a less KYC, but I think a client trust will be much lower level. Yeah, because from my perspective of view, I would think twice to give you some kind of crypto, yeah, and because you do have some kind of regulation, yeah. I'm not sure that you will take your cold storage and it will go somewhere in Bali or whatever. I think the main thing is like client trust. Yeah.
There's some other stuff around. You want to answer because there's couple.
You're right. You maybe don't need KYC. That's the right answer. But it's the amount of risk you want to take, because there is, you might process for sanctioned individuals, sanctioned countries, money coming from different sources, dark web, etc. So you want to protect yourself from that, right? You need to have some transaction screening rules, some KYC on customers, because there is law enforcement risk. Yes, you can go offshore and you can be very well hidden, but still, there is a huge risk of prosecution and of processing stuff you don't have to. So some light KYC, which the guy mentioned, I think it's a must for you to be operating some sort of legitimate business because of the client trust as well, because you might also be seen as someone who wants to take the money away and run. That's also a risk. So you're not attracting clients. So it's a very sensitive topic. You can get away without KYC, but it's not doing you any favors.
And regulation these days is all over the place. So it's like a cat and a fish or a cat and a mouse, where you're gonna run all the time. So if you're not right, certain criteria, even the light regulation is due. Yeah. So guys, we are out of time. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming so early, and enjoy the expo.
Thank you.